Yeah, okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Frankie Kington. I'm known as a wise entrepreneur, and every Saturday evening I have my guest speaker, Roger Bertrand, on my YouTube channel to talk about very important topics. And what we're going to talk about is our professions and our skills, which is really important for the viewers. And what we're going to talk about on this YouTube is the qualities and the skills of a professional mentor, and why do we need one? Roger, I'd like to ask you that question, my dear friend. Would you like to answer that, please?
Right. A mentor. First of all, can you give us a definition of a mentor?
I would say a mentor, is a person, who is qualified, and develops a profession of having the skills to mentor a certain person to achieve an action or to take responsibility for his life. So he has chosen in fields or specific chosen fields of expertise as a mentor that he's done either on a mentoring course where he's been able to mentor and gain a qualification and know the skills and the techniques to mentor somebody to transform and change their life. So it's mainly like being a teacher or somebody like mentor somebody's like a role model to help somebody transform and change an aspect of what they need to change in their life. So I'd say a mentor, Roger, is a role model, a person of expertise to help another person.
Yeah, and then it's more like a guide.
Exactly, Roger. So what does that mean to you then, a guide? What does mentoring mean to you, Roger? What ideas have you got of a mentor?
What do I have an idea about a mentor? It's somebody who's a guide, really. And then it's up to you, obviously, if you choose to follow the guidance of that mentor, or if you choose not to. And it's a mentor can just only help you find a solution. I suppose. I mean, there is sometimes a fine line between mentor and a coach, and sometimes it's quite difficult. Personally, I struggle sometimes to see the difference between a mentor and a coach, because there is a fine line for me anyway. So that's the way I see it. But for me, a mentor is more like a guide, somebody who guides you, and towards, and then the mentee chooses either chooses to follow the mentor or chooses not to. Okay. So you could be a mentor, you could be a teacher and a mentor, really. You could be if you are a teacher, you could be a mentor at the same time, and people don't realize that you are their mentor, if that makes sense. So
it's important as well, Rosie, that we're talking about the mentor. And I think a mentor, obviously, is different from a coach, but that's another topic, another subject to talk about. So a mentor for me, like you said, a mentor has specific skills, and it's important. We talked about the mentee. So let's touch on the mentee. A mentor has a relationship with the mentee. The idea of a quality mentor and mentee relationship is that both the two parties involved get a really clear understanding of what the relationship is, so they both grow together. When they both go together, it means that they develop new skills in both of their lives. That's really important. But obviously the mentor knows a little bit more than the mentee, so he'll have the skills and the techniques to listen, ask the questions, probe, giving answers on his experience, and giving certain tasks to see if he can achieve them tasks. And if he can move on with the mentor relationships. So it's helping the mentor grow on what he's struggling with. So Roger, we talked about mentoring. Give us any idea of how you felt you've been mentored in your life. Is it any little quotes or any little hints or any little tips you'd like to give about why is it important to have a mentor? Or how's it helped you?
Right. If I have ever had a mentor in our life, well, at the moment we have a coach. That's who is Maria, but she could be also our mentor. We also have a mentor through our Buddhist practice. That's actually Ikeda is our mentor. In that is is given us like is a guide rather than anything else. And then I can choose to follow him, or I can choose not to follow him. I can choose to take part of his mentoring with us, or not to. So I think a mentor, you're right, is it's somebody that we should look up to. But I find mentor, I can understand better the concept of coaching as opposed to the coaching or the concept of mentoring, because for me there is such a fine line. It's difficult to find the difference. But for me, to make sure to stick to the topic, for me a mentor is a guide. So if I have a good guide, so for example, a mentor in my life could be your dad, your mom, it could be your parents, it could be your brother, it could be somebody you look up to, it could be even somebody you don't even know, somebody who's an athlete that you admire, for example. And then, oh, he's been doing that, he's been training that this way, that way, the other way. Right, so maybe if I do something similar to what that person does, whether he's an athlete or a singer, a pop star, they may not even know you chose them as a mentor, as it were, if you know what I mean. So, and then if people decide to follow their example and their actions, they might, but obviously in a lot of cases, you also know your mentor, but that's probably a decision you can, that maybe a mentor at work, maybe in a big company, they may decide to mentor people in their company or organizations and other things. People who are in business for themselves may decide to have a mentor to put things on track properly, so they may decide to have that help. Maria is our coach mentor, but I think she also has a mentor or a coach herself, I believe. Yeah. So,
touching on that, Roger.
Pardon? Say that again.
Touching on that, Roger, we talked about mentoring and coach. What people have to realize the significance of the two different roles. A mentor gives experience of his life and gives the mentee specific tasks to see if he can achieve them. And the mentor helps a mentee, if he cannot do that, the mentee, to overcome and achieve them tasks. Whereas a coach asks exceptional questions, exceptional listening, and gives feedback on them exceptional questions. That's the difference between coaching. We coach, ask exceptional questions, feedback in exceptional questions, exceptional listening, and exceptional feedback. That's the difference between coaching and mentoring.
Yeah, I think you also have to have those qualities as a mentor. So I suggest even, Frankie, people who are watching this, please do comment. What's your experience with a mentor? What's your experience with a coach? For you, is it different? Is it the same? Is it similar? Or is there a clear cut between the two between the coach and a mentor, or is there an overlap? Well, so please comment below this video. We would like, I'm sure Frankie would like to have your opinions on all that and your ideas. And
so before, when you look about and you look around your life, there is so many mentors around. Teachers mentor us, our parents mentor us, our father mentors us, even our brothers and sisters will mentor us.
Yeah, indirectly.
Mentoring isn't about always doing the positive things. Sometimes mentoring can sometimes be about what are the challenging things in our life, what are the people challenging us to do. Mm-hmm. That can be a mentor. So in a way, Roger, we can probably point out who are the most important mentors for our life. So really for me, a mentor, as I talked about, as a role model, the most important thing about mentoring for me is your own life experience. If you have a life experience of being a mentor, you're going to serve a lot of people and help a lot of people change and transform their lives. And people can mentor voluntarily. People get paid to mentor, but it depends on what you need mentoring on. So it's a very lucrative skill and a lucrative industry to be in. Roger.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes. I mean, like while you were mentioning all this, I was thinking about my dad. So indirectly, it's probably because he had a big influence on our lives. So he was a mentor, really. He didn't coach us in any way, I don't think, but he was a mentor because he was showing the example, and he has his own kindness, his own what's the name? His own his own kindness, his own is very good-hearted, like his wife was, like Gwen was, and so yeah. If funny enough, I seem to be able to surround myself with people who have compassion. So I think a mentor, in my opinion, needs to have compassion too, because without compassion, I don't think you can actually successfully be a mentor. You have to compassion. You have to like people, because if you don't,
Yeah,
it's it's just a job. Yeah, I think a mentor is more than a job to me. And
sincere. You have to be sincere as well, Roger. You've got to have sincerity.
yeah, compassion. So I think compassion is one of the qualities for me, amongst all the others. Listening is and other. You got to be a people's person, and then you have to have compassion. And without that, I don't think you can be a good mentor. In my opinion, you have to have compassion.
Do you feel it's important as well, Roger, to be trained as a mentor? Check
To
out
be
courses, do courses, educate yourself around mentorship. Because me, as a mentor, I'm doing mentoring programs as well in school. So I'm going to mentor between 15 and 25 years of age children. Not specifically those who've been on the wrong side of the law. I think anyone can be mentored. Specifically, I think a lot of people or youth or kids who need mentoring and usually feel they're going down the wrong path in life. That's my experience. So I want to share that with the people who I mentor as well.
Oh yeah, you want to share your own experience because you want to avoid that path, and I understand that. But I think to do that, you have to have compassion.
And what is compassion, Roger, in mentoring?
Oh, but compassion in general, because if you just don't need to just be compassionate just for mentoring. You've got to be a compassionate person in the first place, because you cannot just be compassionate 1 minute and once you finish your job, then you are not compassionate anymore. I think it's a quality that you take with you, yeah. And compassion is about, I don't know, be able to be a people's person, is be able to understand them. It's a lot of things, isn't it? It's be able to understand their own suffering, for example. It's understanding and compassion, yeah. So, and I think that's all human qualities, in other words. You need to do this kind of work, you need to have human qualities. I think it's
Thank you,
important.
Roger. I think you've been very clear on that, what a mentor is. And I know exactly the importance of a mentor. I know the roles of a mentor, but what's a mentor to you? It's really important. Please try and define what a mentor is and the importance of a mentor. And you could really help a lot of people, because when you're helping a lot of people, then people will help you get what you need for your life. Isn't that really important? So I'm really glad that you've watched our video on mentoring. I really hope you've learned something about this YouTube and the importance of mentoring. I'm a mentor myself, and I do mentoring programs in academies. And if you feel I could help you, I'd be more than happy to help you. You know my YouTube channel. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have social media platforms, so you can find me on there. And if you really like my YouTube channel, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, and I look forward to hearing what you feel a mentor is and the importance of a mentor. So Roger, thanks again for watching. Roger has his own YouTube channel, as you know, and you can find us on there and give us some feedback on why you feel mentoring is important. We all appreciate you. Thank you for watching. My warmest wishes to you all. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Very, very soon.
Okay, bye for now.
Bye-bye now.